Emmerdale's darkest secret, John Sugden's deadly game exposed as Robert closes in. Life in Emmerdale has always had its share of secrets and lies, but few residents have hidden their true nature as skillfully, or as dangerously, as John Sugden. While villagers celebrate him as a local hero, behind closed doors, John is manipulating those around him with terrifying precision, engineering peril only to rescue his victims in a twisted effort to gain admiration and control. But now, his deadly game may finally be unraveling, thanks to a suspicious half-brother and an old flame who's returned to stir up trouble. In a chilling turn of events, it was revealed that John orchestrated the circumstances that led to Nate Robinson's tragic death last year, manipulating the scene to make himself appear as savior. This week's episodes added fuel to the fire, as John used the sudden death of Owen to further obscure the truth. While the village grieves and praises John's supposed bravery, one person isn't buying the act: Robert Sugden. As Robert starts to connect the dots, tensions rise, and actor Oliver Farnworth, who brings the dangerous John to life, has shared exclusive insights into where this intense storyline is heading, what's driving John's psychological descent, and how the love triangle involving Aaron Dingle threatens to explode into emotional devastation. The hero with blood on his hands, John's deadly double life. John Sugden has worn many masks since his arrival in the village, but the most effective has been that of the misunderstood hero. Always in the right place at the right time, always first to offer help, yet always somehow near danger. For months now, his carefully crafted image has shielded him from suspicion, allowing him to orchestrate chaos from the shadows and receive gratitude for his so-called bravery. It's a pattern that's gone unnoticed, until now. John's always had this desire to be seen, to be appreciated. But the way he goes about it is truly dark, Oliver Farnworth explained in an exclusive Inside Soap interview. He wants to be the hero, but he creates the danger himself. That's what makes him terrifying. He'll put lives at risk just so he can save them and be praised for it. The first real consequence of this psychopathy came with Nate Robinson's death. While the village mourned and believed it was an unavoidable tragedy, John knew the truth. He had manipulated the circumstances, subtly but decisively, so that Nate would die and he could appear blameless. And with the recent death of Owen, John's twisted opportunism has re-emerged. He cleverly used Owen's passing to redirect suspicion and once again polish his tarnished halo. But the walls may be closing in. Robert Sugden returns. Suspicion turns to action. Longtime Emmerdale fans know Robert Sugden doesn't let things slide, especially when family is involved. As John's half-brother, Robert has always harbored doubts about John's integrity. And next week's episodes promise a major shift as Robert begins to piece together what really happened to Nate. For Robert, the inconsistencies around Owen's death finally make the puzzle pieces fit, a show insider revealed. He starts to realize that Owen couldn't have possibly been responsible for Nate's death, and if that's true, then who was? This revelation is the beginning of a dangerous game between brothers, one who is willing to kill to preserve his secrets, and the other determined to expose the truth. There's definitely no love lost between John and Robert, Farnworth admitted. They've never had a close bond, and now that Robert's back, there's this immediate tension. You can feel the hostility simmering under every interaction. Wedding crash chaos. Robert, Aaron, and the love triangle no one saw coming. Robert's return didn't just rattle John's nerves, it completely shattered the wedding of the year. In one of the most explosive episodes of the season, Robert crashed John and Aaron's wedding, reigniting old flames and throwing Aaron into emotional turmoil. "Oh, absolutely brilliant and a genius move from the producers," Farnworth said with a smile. Robert and Aaron have such history, and that partnership was particularly loved by the audience. It's caused great conflict as we've seen Aaron and John's relationship blossom, and then suddenly, boom. Robert shows up. It's going to lead to a lot more drama. The emotional fallout has been enormous. For Aaron, torn between the familiar intensity of his past with Robert and the promise of something new with John, the return of his ex has opened old wounds. And for John, already balancing a fragile public persona with growing inner chaos, the intrusion is intolerable. John is deeply threatened by Robert's return, not just because of the emotional connection with Aaron, but because Robert is dangerous to his secrets, Farnworth explained. Robert knows John. He's suspicious. And he's not afraid to dig. Aaron Dingle caught in the crossfire, love, loyalty, and lies. At the center of this growing storm is Aaron Dingle, who finds himself caught between two men who represent very different parts of his identity. With Robert, there's a shared history, a volatile, passionate love story that ended in heartbreak. With John, there's a quieter, steadier kind of affection, one that seems to promise safety and healing. Ultimately, they do love each other, Farnworth said of John and Erin's bond. It's probably a different love to Erin and Robert, but I think John and Erin really work. John can calm Erin when he gets hot-headed, and likewise, Erin brings John out of his shell. We know John lived alone for a long time, and Erin's shown him the kind of lighter side of love and life. But now, with Robert's reappearance and growing suspicions, Erin is once again being pulled in multiple directions. Can he trust John? Can he forgive Robert? Or will the truth about Nate's death, and John's role in it, destroy everything? The psychological descent of John Sugden. What makes John such a compelling villain is that his actions aren't rooted in hatred or revenge, but in a distorted need for validation. He doesn't want people to fear him. He wants them to admire him, to see him as noble and heroic. And he'll go to any lengths to create those moments, even if it means orchestrating danger or taking lives. The Nate situation was revealed to me very early on, Farnworth shared. It was one of the first things I shot, so I've always understood the direction John's character was going in. That said, you're never quite sure whether it's going to be a slow burn, or if it's going to be very intense all at once. I'm in the middle of that now, and it's a roller coaster. Fans have watched John's methods become more reckless. Where once he was calculating, now he's emotional. He's slipping, making mistakes, becoming paranoid. The death of Owen might have been one cover-up too many. And with Robert breathing down his neck and Erin starting to notice his erratic behavior, John may be facing the inevitable. The stakes are higher than ever. The question now is not just whether John will be exposed, but what will happen when he is. Will Robert go to the police, or will he confront John directly in a moment of violent reckoning? Will Erin believe the truth, or will his emotional investment in John blind him to the facts? And if the village finally learns what John's been hiding, how will they react? The very man they've come to rely on could be the one responsible for multiple deaths and cover-ups. The show's writers have expertly built suspense around John's arc. Every scene, every glance, every emotionally charged moment hints at the potential for disaster. And as Farnworth teases, we've only just begun. Fan reactions. A villain worthy of Emmerdale's legacy. John Sugden has rapidly joined the ranks of Emmerdale's most compelling antagonists, not because he's overtly evil, but because he's so convincing. Viewers have expressed mixed reactions on social media. Some are fascinated by his complexity. Others are demanding justice for Nate. All are riveted. It's the best kind of role to play, Farnworth admitted. To have that duality, where the audience doesn't quite know whether to love you or hate you, that's the dream. And he's right. John is a villain of a different breed. Not a schemer in the traditional sense, but a psychological manipulator, a man driven by the need to be needed, to be seen. That drive makes him unpredictable and deadly. What's next? As Emmerdale continues to push the storyline toward its inevitable climax, viewers can expect Robert's investigation. His digging will uncover shocking truths that tie John to both Nate and Owen's deaths. Erin's conflict. Torn between loyalty and fear, Erin will face a devastating choice. Protect the man he loves or expose the monster he's become. A village in shock. When John's crimes come to light, the community will be rocked by betrayal. People who trusted him will feel complicit. Those who suspected will feel vindicated. A dangerous confrontation. Whether it's Robert or Erin, or both, confronting John, there's likely to be violence. And John, cornered, may do anything to escape justice. Final thoughts. The calm before the storm. In Emmerdale, the quiet moments are often the most dangerous. As John continues to wear his mask of normalcy, those closest to him are beginning to see the cracks. Whether it's Erin noticing the emotional distance, Robert catching inconsistencies, or the village wondering how one man always seems to be there in the nick of time, the truth is clawing its way to the surface. And when it breaks free, the fallout could be unlike anything the village has seen in years. John Sugden's reign as the hidden villain of Emmerdale is reaching its boiling point, and when the final secret is exposed, no one will be left untouched.